Hey everyone, it's Lexi. So in today's video, I'd like to introduce you to Tucker before we begin. So Tucker is my dog that he's 7 years old. He's an English retriever and I love him so much. He's just chilling right here on my bed. Usually when I film a video over here, Tucker will be on my bed sleeping. So he usually has his little Pua stuffed animal from Moana and then his little piggy. He likes to sleep with those things in my bed. So I have decided for those dog lovers out there to create kind of some 5 books that I think a lot of you will enjoy, especially now because I've always been a dog lover. I've always grown up with dogs. Tucker is the love of my life. So basically I have 5 books here to share with you for any of you dog lovers out there. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so I keep having to move the camera away so you can see little Tucker here. So basically this first book is Inside of a Dog, What Dogs See, Smell, and Know by Alexandra Horowitz. This basically is a book that describes exactly what it says. It describes basically the biology, the anatomy of the dog, the psychology of a dog, and like how they perceive sight in different colors and perceive time and like all this stuff. And it's really interesting. If you're a dog owner, I think you will find this book to be very interesting and all of that stuff. So I don't know, like it was just really interesting, and just how like even how dogs perceive loss and all that stuff is really interesting. Like they have a lot of interesting chapters in here, and I think if you're a dog owner or if you love dogs, like this will basically, like, I think you'll find this stuff really interesting. It's like how, like when dogs pee a lot, like why they do that, and like how, like all that stuff, and like how they perceive the home that they live in. Like it's all so very interesting. So I think a lot of people will really enjoy this book. I read this a few years ago and I loved it. It's so good. So next I then have Emily and Einstein by Linda Francis Lee, and this is a story about a man who's on his way to getting telling his wife that he's gonna get a divorce. He's been kind of very mean to her and just like using her and all this stuff. So he ends up getting hit by a car and dying, but instead of dying fully, he comes back as this dog that is who was also involved in the accident. And so his wife Emily ends up adopting this dog, and he has to kind of earn his keep, I guess you could say. Like he has to kind of make up for all the bad things that he did to her. And so it kind of shows an interesting perspective between the dynamic between a dog and a human, even though the human is a dog. But nonetheless, I think it's really good. I've really enjoyed this. Like it's written from 2 different perspectives too, from Emily and Einstein, and I think it just perfectly describes the relationship that a dog and human have, and just how meaningful it is. It's really cute actually. I'm surprised I haven't heard more people talk about this on BookTube, but I highly recommend this book. It is really interesting, and I think a lot of people will really like this. Even if you don't like dogs, I feel like, you know, I think a lot of people will enjoy this. Next, this is also another non-fiction book. It's called A Dog Walks Into a Nursing Home, Lessons in the Good Life from an Unlikely Teacher by Sue Halpern. And basically this is a memoir that she writes about her dog, that she got trained to be like the ones that get to go into nursing homes, and just kind of her experience there and like the impact that the dog had with the elderly people that were at these homes and all of that stuff. I think it's really important, and I really enjoyed reading this. I used to work at a nursing home, so a lot of the stuff that I like that is talked about in here I could totally see happening, and just like how like the impact that these 4-legged things have on our lives. I think it's really interesting, and how they can just make us smile, or even if it's just like they said, like through the weekly visits, like the old people would get really excited and like all that stuff, and how they would look forward to like the dog coming there. And I think it's just really neat to see the impact, and how her going there with the dog helped her kind of learn some lessons about life, and just kind of she was able to make these relationships with these older people. And so like when I get my own dog, I want to train him or her to like do this, like because you have to get, it's pretty hefty certification process and like all this stuff. So like I would love for her, like my dog, to be able to do that. I think it would just be really meaningful. Are you okay there, Beans? He's just chilling out. Fun fact, did you know that I made this bed? You see this comforter here, this pinky one? Yeah, it took 6 months, but yeah, I love it. So anyway, this next book is The Art of Racing in the Rain by Garth Stein. Basically, this is told from a dog's perspective at the end of his life, and he's looking back to his time with his owner, basically from when he was a puppy, when he was taken home, to now. And I think it's really, it makes you, like, I got a little teary-eyed at the end. It's kind of like Marley and Me when the dog dies. If you're a dog lover, I think dog lovers cry, but my cousin saw it and she doesn't really like dogs, or she doesn't have a dog, so like she didn't cry there as well. But I don't know, like, it was just really neat to kind of read this from a dog's perspective, and just like his relationship with the owner and like the ups and downs and how the dog perceived what was going on was really neat, and I really liked it. Like I said, this is like a really meaningful book, and I really enjoyed it, especially because our previous dog that we had before Tucker was a golden retriever and Lucky. So yeah, yeah, so like whenever there's like a golden retriever, I always kind of get like a little happy. Tucker is a golden retriever, except he's an English retriever, so he's white. So yeah, we love you. So lastly, this is one that I know probably of you, like I read this before it was announced to be a movie. I read this a couple years ago, and it's A Dog's Purpose by Bruce Cameron. It's basically this dog that kind of keeps getting reborn and reborn after it dies as like a new dog. I haven't seen the movie. I know there's a lot of controversy around that clip that was released, but essentially it's about like this dog who, it's like the dog's trying to find his purpose, and like when he passes away, he kind of comes back as another dog, and he has to like, and it kind of shows the impact that each like dog that he was had an impact on other people's lives. And it basically talks about like when he's a puppy and like all this other stuff, and he ends up being like a service like canine dog for the police, and like all of this stuff. So it was kind of funny to see, and the kind of reading from that dog's perspective I think was really interesting, but it also kind of talks about how dogs have like the purpose that dogs have in our lives, and I think it was really heartwarming. So that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video and, you know, meeting Tucker. So if you want to see more videos with Tucker, leave me a comment down below. He's a little sleepy right now. But yeah, he has his little piggy here, and then pooah! So cute. Sometimes he'll come up on my bed and he'll put his head on here like this. It's so adorable. I just love him. So yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye, guys.